Yeah, so sorry if you tuned in earlier. I tried to do a live stream earlier, but obviously my son was running around and was whinging and whining. And I didn't want that on this stream for you guys. So luckily, my partner's here today, so she's been able to look after him for a bit. I'm gonna. This won't be too long because obviously I don't want to keep him away too long. But yeah, so today's stream, guys, is going to be talking about Crystal Palace versus Liverpool on the weekend. Or if any of you are watching, I want to hear what your score predictions are for the weekend. I want to know like where you think the key factors are on the match. Who do you think is the danger man that we have to watch out for from them, and who you think on our team is really going to come to the forefront and sort it out. So hang on 2 seconds. Currently keyframes are not being sent often enough, which will cause buffering. Don't know why that's coming up all of a sudden. I haven't had a problem before. But yeah, if you can see the stream now, guys, let me know whether it's really bad quality or whatnot, because obviously I'm new to all this, so I'm trying to get my head around it all, and that's not come up before to me. So I want to know how it's coming across to you guys. This is saying something about it might be buffering, so let me know on that one, guys. It's fine, mate. Lovely, thank you, Hannah. Brilliant, cheers for letting me know about that one. Right, so if that's the case, then if all's good on the stream, then I'll touch on a few things quickly before we get started about the Crystal Palace game. And in today's media, Draxler, his manager, has stated that he has no room in PSG squad now with the Neymar signing coming in. I think PSG are looking to get rid of some of their players, and I think Draxler has been one of the players that's been told by the club that he's not going to really feature for them now. I think that's a big mistake on their behalf. I think Draxler is a quality player. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that they actually signed him, so I don't know why they would want to get rid of him. But obviously, I don't know, guys. They've gone out and they've spent all that money on him, and I think FIFA fair play and that should kick in. I think that now they're going to have to sign some of their other big names, and they might have strengthened by getting Neymar, but they're going to weaken by selling some of their other good names. And Draxler's one of them people. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up to you guys is because I really do feel that if Draxler is now available, that he is someone that Liverpool should go after. He's strong. He's a good player all round. He's well known by Klopp. And what do you guys think on that? Do you think Liverpool should really go in for him? Obviously, missing out on some of our targets, I think Draxler is someone that we should go in for now. I think we should literally, we know that PSG obviously want to sell him because they've come out and said that he's not going to be featuring in their squad. So they want to get money in for him. And I think before all these other teams start jumping on the bandwagon and trying to get Draxler, because I kid you not, I really do think that there's not many clubs out there that would not try and sign Draxler. I think Liverpool should try and beat them all to it. And I think he's definitely a player that if we was willing to pay 70 million or whatever it was for Keita, like put the money up for Draxler. I think if you just look at Kevin De Bruyne, for instance, that's gone to Man City. Draxler and De Bruyne was very similar in their way of playing stuff, and I think Draxler, I'm not saying he would do as well as what De Bruyne has done, but I think that there's a good chance that if a Premier League team does get him, that he will be one of the standout midfielders in the Premier League next season. And why shouldn't that be Liverpool? I mean, I think 100% that it's obviously difficult and there's not long left in the transfer window, but now that's come out in this window, then I think a club's definitely going to take him off PSG's hands, and I really do want that to be Liverpool, guys. I would love that signing to happen. Let me know what you guys think on that. You're at AW FIFA content. Welcome to the stream, mate. Thanks for commenting. We should go for him and Siri. His health conditions is okay for it, and a centre back. Yeah, totally agree, mate. I've spoke about being linked with Siri, and I definitely think that he's a good player, and he's definitely a player that Liverpool are looking at, knowing that they can't get Keita over the line. So yeah, I think if we did manage to get Draxler and Siri, and like you say, a centre back, which obviously not too sure what's going to happen with Virgil van Dijk yet, but if we don't get Virgil van Dijk, then we definitely need another centre back in, someone that's tall with power and pace. then obviously I think that would be Liverpool up there fighting with the top 4 again for the Premier League this season. But if we don't get them players in, if we don't get a centre back in, I think we're going to drop out of the top 4, and that really scares me because we saw a few years ago under Brendan Rodgers that we managed to finish second and managed to get back in the Champions League, and then we just fell apart because we lost Luis Suarez and that. So we really don't want that to happen this year, guys. And yeah, I totally agree with you on that one, mate. Like, I think Draxler would be a massive signing if we did get him. Obviously, he's not up there with world-class players like the top players yet, but I do think that he will be. I think if he signed for Liverpool, he would have a good season. I definitely think he'll have a good season. He would be in our starting 11 without a shadow of a doubt. I think he'd go straight in. And I've said before, like we need bigger players. We don't need smaller players. Like you look at Siri, like you've stated there, we do need him. I think he's got an eye for a pass, definitely. I think if we lose Coutinho, Siri's through balls look amazing. I mean, I've only seen him on YouTube and clips. So if you've watched him like in some of the games, if you follow the French league or whatever, then you might know better than me. But he definitely feels like he's got that killer pass that Liverpool do lack without Coutinho in the squad at the moment. So that'd be good if we got him. But I think Draxler's that bigger player, and I've been stating that we need bigger, especially midfielders. We need some strong lads in there because I think that's partly to do with why we're suffering on set pieces, guys. I think yes, the defence need to sort out their mistakes and stuff, but it's not just that. I mean, I was watching what did I see it on? I was watching an interview where a couple of players were saying, Jamie Carragher and I think it was Gary Neville was talking about the set piece that we let in against Watford last week and what really hurt us. And I think they stated that if we got Van Dijk in, he would be playing where either Lovren or Matip would be. And because we zonal mark, where that was, it was like Wijnaldum or Firmino was in the places that cost us the goals. So Van Dijk would not be in that place. So just getting in a centre-back might not be the only thing that we need to do. We need to get in other players that are really good at sticking a nut on the ball and clearing the ball out. And players like Draxler and stuff, obviously they're that bigger frame person. I mean, I don't know whether he's really good in the air or not like that, but just putting bigger lads in the box, like to defend set pieces, will be a plus for us. And as well, like on the attacking front, when we've got corners, Liverpool, so often you see we hit a post or we come close or whatever, but it's normally Lovren or Matip or whatever. We haven't really got anyone that's in there that can get their head on that ball and stuff. And I just want to see us scare people in set pieces again. I want to eradicate that weakness that teams seem to like come to Liverpool and they know they can nick a point or whatever against us, and they know they can score because they just play for the set pieces. And if we have bigger players in the team and we start getting rid of all that, then obviously to me it would be a lot scarier to teams coming to Liverpool. And I don't think they'd sit back as much as well. I mean, the 9 out of 10 teams that we play sit back when they play against Liverpool because they're scared of our attack. But that's also because they know if they sit back, they can counter-attack. And I don't know whether you guys agree, but I can really see, like last season, that when teams sit back and they go on a counter-attack, they're not really going on a counter-attack to try and score. If they're lucky, they get a goal. But half the time, they're playing for that corner or they're playing for a free kick or whatever. And that then costs Liverpool because of our poor set-piece defending. So, I don't know. What do you guys think on that? Like, I think definitely going back to the Draxler situation, he's a strong, another big player, and he's got the quality that I think will definitely improve Liverpool this season. And if we don't go in for him, guys, then I think that's a big mistake. It's come out that he's definitely available, so why not go in there? Why not get him? We need players, guys, and like I said in some of my previous videos on my channel, you guys are probably exactly the same on me. We really need to stop all this where we're not being decisive in the transfer market. Too often are we losing out on big names over the years, and also we're losing players, like our best players, but towards the end of the season, like towards the end of the transfer window. You look, Fernando Torres years ago went on the last day. Obviously, I felt we did good with that one. We had the best years of him, and he didn't do so good at Chelsea, but that was on the last day. If Coutinho goes now, obviously it's towards the end of the transfer window. If you know a player's going to go, and it's for a good amount of money, it's for the right amount of money, then take the money, get rid of them, and get a replacement in. I stated that in my last video, and I don't know whether you lot agree, but I think that's where Liverpool need to improve when it comes to transfers. Oh, what's this? So Hannah's put, definitely need bigger players. We are being bullied. Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. I think it's been the same for a couple of years now. Obviously, when we got rid of Joe Allen, he was a small player that went. He was a good player, but small and got bullied. And this was my worry with players like Keita and now with Siri. I think they're quality players. But if we get them in, they're small players. They're not players that can hold up the ball. I mean, Emre Can's contract extension, we don't know where that's going to go. Chan is like our biggest, strongest midfielder in there. We've got Grujic in. Grujic is only young, so he's got a lot of improving to do. But Grujic is another one of them big players that I think Klopp brought in or Liverpool brought in for his size, and he's really good in the air. And also, I like the fact that Grujic has got an eye for goal. But he's not a starting 11 at the moment. He's someone that will come on later in the game and probably play in the lower cup games or whatever. I'm not too sure. I'd like to know what you guys think on that, and tell me what you guys think about Grujic as well. I think he's got a big future ahead. I think he looks really composed in that. But going back to the situation where the players that we're linked with, obviously we're linked with Insigne if Coutinho goes as well, and Insigne is another small player. Like, I know we like players that are very technical and can play on the ball and very agile and stuff, but you need strength in there as well, guys. I look at Tottenham and how good Tottenham did over the last couple of seasons, and Tottenham did good. They've got players in there that have got skill, got good passes and stuff, but their team is strong as well. Chelsea, their team is strong. Man United, Mourinho's this year, I think Man United are going to do better because his team look well-rounded and they're strong as well. So that scares me because obviously we hate Man United, being a Liverpool supporter. Don't want to see them do good at all, but Mourinho's done the right thing. They know the key to success in the Premier League. He's won the Premier League before. He knows that you need strength in this league, and that's something that Liverpool have lacked for years. And that, if we got strength in, guys, I think that is the final point that would get us to bring that title in for us. And in the Champions League and things like that, then it's not necessary that we need bigger players and stuff. And I think our players would do well in the Champions League, to be honest with you. But in the lower league cup games, when we've lost out on them and everything, if you had them bigger players in and stronger players, we'd do better against the lower league teams as well, because they play with strong players and they play for set pieces against teams like us. So yeah, that's a major point that we need to work on, guys, and I'd love to know what you guys think on that as well. FIFA content, Matuidi would have been sick for that price. Out the other centre backs, I think Matip is okay, but Lovren looks too shaky. Yes, totally agree with you, mate. Matuidi, I've touched on this. I said that basically Matuidi and Chan was two of Juventus's major signings that they wanted to get in, and it looks good for us now that Matuidi's gone in there, because I think that means that Chan's not going to go to Juventus. But Matuidi's a quality player, and if he was available, which obviously Juventus have got, if Liverpool are not linked with these players, then what's going on, guys? What is really going on? I see a lot of these players go and everything to different teams, and then you hear Liverpool come out and say that, oh, like Klopp said in some of his press conferences, Liverpool are after all these players, but if the right players aren't available, then we can't sign them. And Klopp has said again, and this was the same when Brendan Rodgers was in. They were saying that there's not many players out there that will bet Liverpool's starting 11, and that's what they're looking for. I'm sorry, guys, but that's absolute bollocks. Excuse my French, but seriously, there's loads of players out there that would improve our starting 11. Yes, we have got a good team, but we don't win the Premier League, do we? And we're not up there fighting for the Champions League. So don't tell me that there's not players out there that can improve Liverpool. There's tons of people out there that can improve Liverpool. And I like the fact that Klopp trusts himself in that he can make the players or smaller players play better. And obviously we've seen that with players like Lallana and Wijnaldum. He's really brought them on. But it's time that we bring in a spine to Liverpool that are already up there, that are better players and that are big names, and also leaders, guys. Without Gerrard being in the team, we've lost leaders as well. So I want to see someone that comes in that is a captain. Do you know what I mean? Like a born leader. Henderson's not that to me. What do you guys think on that? Henderson, I don't think should be our captain. Don't get me wrong. I think Henderson works his socks off, but he's not a captain. He's not. We really lack a player like Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher, like Sami Hyypiä. I've said about this before on my channel. We need players that can really dictate to other players in the game if they're not pulling their weight, that we would literally say, like, sort yourself out, like, get back playing, like, do this, do that. We ain't got anyone like that now. We just got players that point and pretend. They pretend too much, really, that they're telling people what to do, but they're not really doing it with too much influence on the game. So, yeah, and what you said something about the defenders as well. Matip, it's okay. I agree. Matip, I think if you got in someone better than Lovren to pair with Matip, I think we'd be happy with that centre back pairing. Lovren was quality at Southampton, but he's been very shaky, like you're saying. He's been on and off for Liverpool. I've seen glimpses of brilliance from him, but I'm not too sure that how Liverpool play with a high line, how Klopp's tactics play with a high line, whether that really suits Lovren. I think if we sat back, like if Lovren was playing in a team that sat back like Crystal Palace, for instance, or whatever, you look at how Sacco did when he went to Crystal Palace. When a defence sits back, I think Lovren suits that. But when he's got to track back and run, I think that's where you see the mistakes from Lovren. His positional play isn't the best. He's not the quickest. I think Matip's very good at reading the game. So that's where Matip is good. Obviously, Klopp's brought Matip in because I think he knew that Matip would suit that high line. But we need another defender for definite that would suit that high line defending and has got some pace about them. You know what I mean? And I think they would replace Lovren. If we got in Virgil van Dijk, it would be Lovren that would go out. It wouldn't be Matip. And I think that if it wasn't Virgil van Dijk, like there was other defenders linked with us, but there was no real concreteness on that. And I think I'd like to see more defenders linked with us. But whoever it is, I think will replace Lovren, and it needs to be someone with pace, and it needs to be someone that suits playing a high line. And that's where, if us as fans can see that, then I'm sure that Liverpool transfer committee should be able to see that. I'm sure that Klopp knows that, but I don't know why we're not seeing movement in the transfer window yet about that. So I'm a bit gutted there. Like, what do you guys think? If we don't get Virgil van Dijk, who else would you like to come in as a centre back? I'd really like to know what you guys think on that, because that's the one concern for me, that we're not really being linked with any other defenders. And I've said in a video before that Lovren on his day is up there, and there's not many defenders that could come in at the moment that would be available. I mean, come in and be better than Lovren. But again, like I say, if we sat back but with that high line, I think there's a lot of other players out there that would suit playing a high line better. I mean, to be honest with you, I think Joe Gomez next to Matip would suit the high line play better than Lovren. And I'd like to know what you guys think of that. But Gomez is still young, but he's got the pace and he's got some strength in him. And I think if he got used to playing with Matip alongside him, I think that would be a good centre-back pairing, guys. I'd like to know what you guys think on that. But let me read some more of these comments quick. We'd probably be a stronger team if we sold Coutinho, bought a solid centre-back, and Draxler/Insigne, and another midfielder. Gruitch, Woodburn, Kent, and Trent Alexander-Arnold look exciting. Yeah, again, mate, agree with you on that. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been fantastic. I think Klein really needs to look over his shoulder this season. I think, to be honest with you, I think Klopp does prefer Trent in that right-back role. I think he is a lot better going forwards. As you know, you've said he's been exciting. And scoring that free kick the other day, like, what a strike. Do you know what I mean? Gerrard's now come out and said Trent's got a massive future. He's going to be a massive talent. Yeah, I think he's been outstanding. Kent's impressed me. Obviously, Kent, it looks like he's staying. It doesn't look like he's going out on loan this season. Ojo's just gone out on loan to Fulham. So I think we're going to see more from Kent this year, probably more in the cup games. So that'd be good to see him. I agree with you as well. Get rid of Coutinho now. It looks like he doesn't want to play at Liverpool. So, yeah, I think he's got to go, really. And we've got to get what we can for him. And maybe that is what's going on. Maybe Liverpool are holding out to push up that fee and get as much money as we can. And then getting someone. Who did you say about getting in? You said Insigne and that, didn't you? So, yeah, I'd love to see Insigne come. Like I say, he's a small player, but he's not really a midfielder, obviously. He's that left wing position. And he has done good. I don't know whether he'd be available. I don't know whether Napoli would let him go, because he's one of them players that seems to be happy at where he is. But he would bring a lot to Liverpool. He'd bring something different to what Coutinho's got, in my opinion. But if Salah or Mane gets injured this season, then who have we got to really fill in on them wings? Ojo's gone out on loan, so it'd be Kent. But Kent's exciting and he's looking good. But would you really want Kent playing in the Champions League, or would you want him in the big games? I'm not too sure at the moment. I think I'd like to see him come on more as a sub. So having a player like Insigne come in, yeah, that makes sense to me. and obviously, like I stated earlier, Draxler would be a quality signing. I just think we need to go all out for him, really, on that one. So, what else have you said there? Even sorting out the Sacco situation would help. Yeah, what's going on with that one? Like, I'm not seeing anything about it. I don't know whether any of you guys are, but obviously every day, obviously doing my videos for the channel and that, I'm looking for all the media speculation and stuff. And I just want to know what's going on with that one. Obviously, there was a few rumours back at the beginning of the transfer window that Sacco, Liverpool are holding out for at least 20 million for him. And Crystal Palace was interested, but now they're not. So, what is going on with that one? And to be honest, like, I know they said that there was a fallout between him and Klopp, but like, we don't really know what fully happened there. So we don't know whether Sacco's going to do a Moreno and come back in. I'm not too sure, but in my opinion, Sacco is a good defender, but he's not going to suit that high defensive line, and I think that's one of the reasons why Klopp hasn't tried to patch up what's going on there, because he probably knows that Sacco's another one. I think if a team had Sacco and Lovren in their centre-back pairing and they sat back defensively and deep, that's two good centre-backs, and that they'd suit other teams, but they're just not going to suit how Liverpool are going to play under Klopp, guys. And yeah, I think I'd like to know what's going on there, and if he's not going to come back to Liverpool, then we just need to get him sold to another team, because that's another 20 million or whatever we'd get for him, like that we've got to spend with. Imagine if we sold Coutinho, right, and then we sold Sacco. Say Coutinho goes for 110, 120 million or whatever, Sacco for 20 million. That's 130, 140 million. Now, apparently, Liverpool had about 150 million to 200 million to spend already before that. We've only bought in the left back. We've only bought in Salah, and we got, what's his name, the young striker Solanke. We only bought in them, but that isn't a lot of outlay. So really, Liverpool should be really strong and could go out there and possibly buy like a player that's worth over 100 million. And I think we need to do that. If we lose Coutinho, we need to do that. We need to make a statement of intent to our fans and to the rest of the teams out there that Liverpool are serious and we want to get up there. The other teams have improved, so I'm really worried that we're going to drop out of top four where it stands at the moment. So we do need to improve, guys. What have you said there? Henson isn't worthy of being our captain. Totally agree. I said that earlier. I think he shouldn't be a captain. I think Milner's a better captain than Henson at the moment, and that's saying a lot that Milner's a captain. He tries, but he doesn't lead or do anything that stands out. Milner does better. You've said exactly what I've just said. Hopefully Trent will grow into a leader. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, mate. Like I said, that is a brilliant comment. I think I'd love to see Trent, obviously being a homegrown player, go on to be like a Steven Gerrard for us. There's also things being said that Trent will move from a right-back position into a centre midfield position. If that does happen, then quality. He's got everything, guys. You can see he can defend, he can attack. Why not? If Klein comes back in that right-back position this season, something I'd really like to see is maybe move Trent into that holding midfield role. He's got the pace to get back. He's got the pace to get up. What do you think on that, mate? Would you like to see him playing that role? I think it's been too long since we've seen a homegrown player come in like your Gerrards and Carragher's and stuff, and really that's what Liverpool has been about over the years, and I'd like to see Trent do that and do well. So yeah, that's a brilliant comment, mate. Absolutely agree with you on that one. Koulibaly or Howardis would be good. Yeah, obviously we were linked with both of them over time. I haven't seen too much about Howardis in this transfer window, but obviously Koulibaly was linked with us when we were first linked with Van Dijk as well, and it was between us and Chelsea. So on that one, I think I would definitely take him. I think him, like Virgil van Dijk, he's got the assets that we need. Obviously, with that high line, like I say, going forwards, we need a defender that is big, powerful, and fast. And there's not a lot of them out there, but Koulibaly is that kind of defender. He's definitely got a big future ahead of him. Obviously, Chelsea were linked with him, and if Chelsea are linked with a centre back, guys, then we need to be looking at that centre back as well, because Chelsea have got really good history of signing good defence. They're really good defensively. I think he would be a really good acquisition for us. If Van Dijk's really not going to come off, and from what I'm seeing at the moment, Van Dijk wants a Liverpool move. Liverpool want Van Dijk, but Southampton are just playing hardball, guys, and I don't know whether that's really going to happen. So I think Koulibaly would be another name that I'd like to see come in. I don't think there's anyone else that I've really seen that I've gone, yeah, actually, that he'd suit how Liverpool play this year. I'd like to see him come in. There's not really been anyone else like that. Obviously, there's players like Varane and things like that out there that would suit us, but he ain't going anywhere, guys. And if he was, it'd be ridiculous money. He's one of the best defenders in the world. Like coming up over the next couple of seasons, as people start to retire and get old, and that people like Varane and that are just, they're going to take the top defensive spots out there. So I really don't think we got a chance for players like that. So we are looking in the market at Van Dijk's, Koulibaly, and things like that. So yeah, Koulibaly for the highlight. Yeah, just said that, mate. You're on exactly the same wavelength as me. I think he definitely suits that. We need one of them. We need Van Dijk or Koulibaly, in my opinion. Otherwise, I don't really see where we can go with getting other defenders in, because like we did with Lovren was fantastic before, but it's in a team that's sat back. We need them high line defenders, guys. Barca apparently had a 55 million bid rejected for Insigne. Insigne played some games in Cam, so maybe Klopp would play him there. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that he played some games in Cam. That's really good to know. Yeah, that's possible. Obviously, it's the same with what we were doing with Coutinho. Coutinho likes to play left wing, but he was touted to play in that centre midfield role this year. And I'm wondering, guys, whether that was maybe where the fallout apparently happened between him and Klopp, was that Klopp sees him more as a midfielder, and I think we all agree that he's more influential in that midfield. But I think from what I saw before, Coutinho wants to be a left winger. That's where he sees himself play. So maybe that's why he wants to move as well. I'm not too sure on that one. Maybe Klopp said, look, we got Salah in now, so you are dropping back to midfield. But I said before, I think Klopp wanted to build a team around Coutinho. And if he saw him in that midfield role, maybe that was why we haven't been linked with more midfielders in this transfer window. Maybe that's why we got Salah in, to drop Coutinho back. But if you had an injury to, if you had an injury to Salah or Mane, Coutinho still in the squad would fill in on that left wing or whatever, and Mane or Salah can play either wing. So I don't know. I think maybe that's what started all that one. And now Liverpool, now that we think that he's handing a transfer request, maybe we didn't think that he'd hand in a formal transfer request. There was a lot saying that Coutinho's not that sort of player that would do that. So maybe shocked Liverpool a bit with that one. Yeah, I'm not too sure. So now maybe we are seeing more come out about players like Insigne and that obviously we're after him now. So yeah, I think that one we're just going to have to wait and see on that one. But if we are to get a player in like that, then I think that definitely says to me that Coutinho's gone, which I'm starting to sway now that the more is coming out, like him saying he's going on strike and that. Like, if he is doing things like that, then I am swaying to saying just go. Like, let's have the money and just go. Do what you got to do. I think something that I see today as well, which is an update for you guys. I think Barcelona are out. Suarez is out for a couple of months or a few months with an injury, and obviously they lost Neymar, so Barcelona are really going to be looking to get in some other attacking players. So I think Coutinho and Dembele, like I've said on my channel before, I think they're really going to want to sign both of them. So that's just an update with that one for you guys. What else have you said there? Barca apparently had the 55 million deal rejected. Yeah, 55 million. I think you can see the rates that players are going for in this transfer window, and they're ridiculous in my opinion, but that's the way it is now, and that's what we've got to get used to, and that's what teams have to get used to. There's a lot more money flowing around now. Teams know damn well that the Premier League teams have got a lot more money to play with. That's why the players' prices are all jumping up. If Barcelona had a 55 million bid rejected, then I think Liverpool would have to pay 80, 90 million to even tempt Napoli, because they know that we'd have more money. I don't know, maybe they know that Barcelona's got a lot of money now that Neymar's gone, so they was holding out for that because there was rumours before about that. So that's interesting on that one as well. What else she said there? If we don't sort stuff out, then Mane will be the next to go. World class. Yeah. Yeah, I'd hate that one to happen, but there's been a few things today saying that next year Mane will leave if Liverpool haven't progressed. So that's something else that Liverpool have got to look at, guys. We don't want to keep losing our top players, and the only way to do that is to win trophies and to bring in players that other players want to play with. When we had Gerrard, players wanted to come and play for Liverpool because we had Steven Gerrard. They wanted to play with one of the best midfielders in the world. When we had Suarez, players wanted to play with Suarez. Now we've lost them guys. Do you know what I mean? Like, who do players really want to come and play with in our team? What, they want to come and play under a captain as Jordan Henson? I don't think so. So we need to start getting players in, and to do that, we need to throw the money at them. We need to overspend. We need to get some top names in. Start getting some trophies back in the cabinet, so that other players out there, other world-class players, can see that Liverpool is a good team to play for. All you hear when we sign players is that Liverpool, this player signed for Liverpool because they were interested in where the future lies. Well, I'm not interested in where the future lies, guys. If all Liverpool can do is use Jurgen Klopp and his personality to get players in by saying, this is what we've got planned over the years to come, like, you're not going to sign a top world-class player that is like, well, I don't care where you're going to be in a few years or whatever. I want to know what you're doing now. Like, tell me, if I sign for you, what trophies am I going to win under you? What medals am I going to get? Because the way it stands at the moment, we're not looking like we can promise guaranteed top class players that we're going to be challenging for the title in the Premier League and for trophies. We need to get a few players in first to be able to do that, and the only way to do that, guys, is to throw ridiculous money at them. Money talks, and Liverpool need to do that. Other teams do that. Man United, when they wasn't in the Champions League, they've done that. Chelsea had a really bad season. They still did that and threw money at it. Man City a few years ago was nobody. They wasn't a top club. They come in, spent money and threw money at players, and now look at them. Money talks, guys, and we need to really to be up there with the top and fighting like how us fans want and how we deserve over the years of following this club and being through the transitional period. It's time that the transitional period stops and ends and we just move forward, you know. Like, that is really where we need to be going forward. That's how I see us going forwards now. Like you were saying about Mane being world class, totally agree. In my opinion, Mane's better than Coutinho. A lot of people might disagree on that one, but I really do think he is, guys. And I think as long as we keep him fit this year and he don't get any injuries, Mane is going to score at least 20 goals for me. He's going to be our best player, and I think really Barcelona going for Coutinho, they should have really gone for Mane on that left wing. But all good. If we can get a lot of money for Coutinho and we keep Mane, I'm happy with that. Like, to be honest, I really don't want to lose Mane. So our manager shouldn't be our main asset. He's amazing, but we need one or two more class players. Yeah, that's what I've been saying, mate. Like, I think some of the things I've seen on other YouTube channels and that a lot of people think that Klopp has been our best signing over the past few years, and I agree with that. Like, he has been fan. I was so happy that we got Klopp in, but a couple of things that I'd like to see change from Klopp is the defensive side of it. He's very attacking. His team's very attacking. I want to see us change from the zonal marking to more one-on-one marking. That's something that I'd like to see Klopp change. But yeah, I agree. He really shouldn't be the main headline and the main pull-in for us. Obviously, having a manager like that, if we have world-class players as well, you can see in the headlines at the moment that players want to play under Klopp. So that's good for us, but we do need them players in, like we had Gerrard before, that players want to play with as well. It's brilliant, do you know what I mean, to see that we've got a good manager now, but now we need to back it up as well with the actual team. Agreed on Mane, better than Coutinho. Yeah, I think it's true, mate. Like, Coutinho is a fantastic player on his day, but he was very inconsistent. And maybe over the last season, you could see that he was really coming on in some games, but in other games, he just was like dropping out. Maybe that's because his future was up in the air, and we obviously didn't know that last season, but now we do. So that's a bit of a bummer, really. Quickly, just going off that and talking about Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, I wanted to say that my score prediction for that game is 2-1. I think we're not going to be able to stop them from scoring. Obviously, it'll probably be a set-piece goal because we ain't sorted out the defensive side of it. And touching on Mane being our best player, I've touted I think Mane is going to get both goals in that game. I'd like to know whether you guys agree on that or who you think would be the scorers and what your score prediction would be. I'd like to know on that one. But so we need a midfielder. Klopp sounds clueless in the media. Seriously, yeah, he doesn't really know what he's talking about at the moment. I think I can't really blame him. I think Klopp's just trying to do his best with what he's got. What I saw in his press conference today, he didn't really know what to say about transfers, and all I keep hearing him say is that even now, if it stays the way it is, he's happy with the squad that he's got. Well, that's clueless, isn't it? Like, he's saying that maybe to save face, because I don't think Klopp is fully happy with that. He's a world-class manager. I can't see him being happy with the team how it is. And if we lose Coutinho, he's not going to be happy. Like I said before, I think he wanted to build a team around Coutinho. But I don't really know. I think he's in limbo because Coutinho's in limbo, and because the transfers they wanted to get in, like Keita and Van Dijk, they haven't happened. So I think Coutinho's very much, I think Klopp's very much like doesn't know where to go forwards, where's the next step. So that is showing in his press conferences. I agree with you, mate. He's probably just saying we don't need anything. I'm confident we'll make more signings. I just worry if they'll be good enough. Yeah, that's my worry as well, mate. I think too many times we've seen Liverpool panic buy in a transfer window, like your Andy Carroll years ago and stuff. Like I said in my last video, I don't want to get the money for Coutinho and just spunk it on a few players like Lanzini from West Ham, for instance. We've been linked with him. God no, fuck no. He's not a replacement for Coutinho. He's good at West Ham, but if you come into Liverpool, he is no better than Woodburn, in my opinion. I think I'd rather play Woodburn. And obviously Woodburn's got a bright future and he's a good player, but he's not the quality that Liverpool need in his starting 11 at the moment, especially not being in Champions League. And Lanzini, no way. Like, fuck off with that one. So I agree, mate. I really don't want to see us like waste our money on silly players. That would be pathetic, in my opinion. I guess 3-1, so similar. The front three scoring, Benteke for them. Yeah, that could easily happen. I was thinking to myself it would either be 3-1 or whatever, and I did think as well Benteke would score for them. Obviously, he hurt us in the last game against them, not the pre-season one, but the other one. He obviously ripped us apart in that game, and he had a point to prove against Liverpool. One of the pluses, something that I can let you know, Zaha obviously he's not going to be playing in that game. He's out with an injury. Connor Wickham's out as well. So them two as a threat. I think Benteke is their only real threat going forwards. So yeah, I think you're right. If they're going to score, then it'll probably be Benteke, especially if it's a set piece. If they put Benteke on the front post on a corner, then we're in trouble, guys, because we can see that them front post corners we just struggle with so much. So why don't we just put Matip or Lovren on that front post? Because a lot of teams put the ball to the front post. Why don't we put one of them on front post and put, like, if we play Emre Can in midfield, then put Emre Can where Matip or whatever it is, because he's more than capable of sticking his head on it and clearing it, Can is. But we need a centre-back that's strong and that is used to clearing the ball from set pieces and that. We need to put one of them on the front post, guys. Instead of having them sitting in the middle of the 6-yard box, that's not where the threat's coming from with us. Like, the amount of times, if you actually look back over the set-piece goals we conceded, it is mainly from, they put the ball to the front post and then either we deal with the first one, but then it's the rebounds and then the second one goes in, or they get their head on it and it manages to go in, or they get a kick on it or whatever. Like, we need to sort that out, guys, and I'm disgusted that we haven't sorted that out so far, because that has happened for 2 to 3 seasons now against us. So yeah, like, anyway, going back to the Crystal Palace thing, yeah, I think Benteke, if they get corners and that, then we're in trouble on that one, guys. Chan and Henderson can't play in the same team. They play the same way. I really believe that Firmino should drop into the number 10 role with Sturridge up front against Palace. This is a huge game. Yep, agree with you. I've said this before. Obviously, that's something that Klopp stated on today, that Sturridge should be back for the Crystal Palace game. And I'm not too sure whether I think Sturridge should maybe start or whether he should be brought on later in the game. I don't know where his fitness levels are at the moment, obviously, with an injury. And I really don't want to see him just come in, start the game, and then have to go off with an injury. I'm not too sure. But I definitely think that we should be playing Firmino in that midfield role. I said before against Watford that we lacked creativity in that midfield. You've said it right. Henderson and Emre Can in midfield, there's not enough creativity there. They shouldn't play together. I'd play Can in the holding role at the moment and put Wijnaldum and Firmino as your front two to me. Wijnaldum will get back in and defend. You know, he's more than capable of that as well. But having Firmino or even Wijnaldum next to Can in that holding two, and either one of them will make a darting run in, and have Firmino sitting behind a striker. And to be honest with you, if we don't play Sturridge, I'd quite like to give Solanke a go up front. Like, obviously he's young, but he scores goals, doesn't he? Like, we saw that in pre-season. He can score goals. And if you've got, I think Firmino is not going to score 20 plus goals for Liverpool up front. I think, but he would score 15 plus goals if he was playing off of a striker. because Firmino is good at opening up space and he's got that skill and he's got the vision and stuff like that. So we do need that in midfield. If we're not got Coutinho on the pitch, we're missing that. So Firmino is the only other player really that's got that Brazilian flair that can do that. And playing in behind a striker, especially a striker like Solanke, that is good. Well, even Sturridge is good at reading the game and gets into good position. So with Firmino linking up with someone like Sturridge or Solanke, like that would really open up and that would scare defences. And I think putting Firmino up top, I think you're really wasting him. He was a midfielder at Hoffenheim before. Klopp sees him as a striker. I don't. That is one thing that I do disagree with Klopp on. Is Firmino can hit the ball with either feet, but he doesn't get in the areas where he can score because he's too busy linking up with the other players around. And yes, he opens up the game for Mane and Salah on the wings, but tell me why he can't do that playing off of a main striker. Instead of just putting through Salah and Mane, he could be putting through Salah, Mane and Sturridge or Salah, Mane and Solanke. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where I think we could improve. So I definitely agree with you on that one. What have you said? Would be good. Shamish just can't do that for long. If Sturridge is out every other week, yeah, agreed. Yes, Solanke over Origi, yeah. I think Origi could be a massive player for us in the future, but he hasn't really come on, has he? From when he first signed, he was touted to be a really good player, but I don't know. I was really impressed with him when he come in against Dortmund that time and really looked like he was starting to perform, but then he's dipped, and I don't know whether that's a confidence thing, where he's not mainly in a team all the time, whether maybe Origi needs to go to a team where he is going to be the first choice striker. I think he would perform better in that sense, but obviously at Liverpool he's not. So I think I would definitely play Solanke more than Origi at the moment as it stands. I would drop Henderson. Doubt Klopp would drop his captain though. Yeah, it's a tough one because, like we said earlier on in the video, Henderson shouldn't be our captain, but Klopp does like his work rate. He does seem to rate him in that sense, so I don't know whether he will. But I did watch a press conference earlier, and Klopp did say that we might have to change a few things in this game because we've played 2 games, and obviously Hoffenheim in a week. A couple of the players, due to whether it's slight injuries or fatigue or whatever, he's got to make some changes, and I think one of them players might be Henderson, because Henderson's been on and off injured. I think maybe you might see Henderson be dropped for the start of this game, maybe come on later in the game or whatever. I don't really know on that one, but like I say, I'd really like to see Trent go into that midfield role at some point. So I think if he stays in right back at the moment and then wait until Klein's back fully fit, then move him into that holding role instead of Henderson, I'd like to see that in the future. What have you got here? Salah, Mane, Sturridge, pace would be lethal. Yeah, it would be. But one thing on that, I don't know whether you agree with me, but do you think that Sturridge, he's not as fast as what he used to be, is it? I think with the injuries and stuff, he used to be rapid. When he was up front with Suarez, Sturridge was so quick and lethal. And then I think since all these injuries and everything, I just feel like he's half-heartedly running. I think the pace might still be there, but it's like he's always trying to keep it back a bit so that he doesn't get injured, but he still gets injured. So I'm a little bit like, I don't really know on that one. But if we had a fully fit Daniel Sturridge that was in his prime, yeah, that would be amazing. But I think without him like that, I think more Sturridge's qualities to us is the finishing. I think having Salah, Mane on the wings with the skill and the pace to get him behind and then dropping it back, and what I'd do is I'd tell Sturridge to find that space like he does. He's like a fox in a box, isn't he, really? Like, he just can find that net. So having him in that box instead of someone like Firmino, like when Salah and Mane cut it back, Sturridge can bang that ball in. So I'd like to see that, really. That would be amazing. But obviously we need to get him back fit, guys. I don't know what we're going to do with that. I'm happy that we're not selling him, to be honest. But I don't know. He's one of them players, isn't he? It's really frustrating for us that Sturridge is a world-class player on his day, but if we keep having him injured, then he's not a world-class player because he's not doing anything to help Liverpool, is he, in that sense? You know what I mean? He's just on the bench or not on the bench, really. So I don't know on that one. I would have preferred to see someone like Aubameyang or whatever come in, and then I would have said, fuck, like, if you look at Salah, Mane and Aubameyang's pace up front, I don't know why we didn't try and make that one happen. I think Aubameyang and Klopp didn't really get on at Dortmund. I think Aubameyang didn't really like the way Klopp liked him to play, so I don't know whether that would ever happen. But imagine them three up front. That would be tasty, wouldn't it? To be honest. But what we got here? This is a huge game, so we can keep up with City, United, and etc. And especially we've got Arsenal and City afterwards, so we catch up, because if we lose against Palace and City, we will finish out the top four. Yeah, yeah. I'm worried about it, to be honest, guys. Obviously, getting a draw in the first game, Chelsea lost, so I wasn't too worried in that. But I think if we lose or draw this game, and then Man United go on and win, and the other top teams, you know what I mean, then we're already putting that gap between us and the top four. I think Man United and Man City aren't going to lose many games this year. I think Spurs have had a good couple of seasons where they've been quite consistent throughout the league, so they don't really lose too many. So we can't really afford to lose this game or draw it, can we? Because we don't want to start the season like that. I am worried. Because last year fitness was a concern, and this year we've got Champions League on top of that. So we should, to be honest with you, we should have brought players in quicker than what we have in this transfer window, so that we wasn't already worried with the injuries that we've got. And we have got quite a few injuries to our players. So yeah, I don't know. I am personally worried about it, guys. It's Crystal Palace, so we should beat them on paper, but Crystal Palace are one of them teams that we do seem to struggle against. Having Crystal Palace fans that are friends of mine, they often find it funny to wind me up when it comes to Liverpool playing Crystal Palace, because they're quite confident, their fans, when playing us. So that just goes to show, really, that we should have been doing better in the past against them. And this year, we need, if we're gonna fight for the title this year, and we're gonna do anything this year, then we should be putting teams like Crystal Palace away, especially then without Zaha as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, we really should. Obviously, we're missing some key players, but we should be burying them, shouldn't we, guys? Sturridge runs because he fears to get injured. Yeah, I totally agree. And he doesn't really go in for the seconds. With how Klopp likes his teams to play, he likes them to be aggressive and on the front foot. Sturridge doesn't suit that at the moment. I think he would have years ago, but with his injuries and that, and like I say, he's half-heartedly running and that, and he's scared to get injured. So he doesn't really suit Klopp's style. If we could find a way of getting Firmino and Sturridge to link up front, Firmino does a lot of the running, then I think you could say let Sturridge just do his thing, let him linger up front. I think every team, especially a counter-attacking team like Liverpool, should have a player that stays up front, ready to just pounce on it. And I think Sturridge has still got enough pace in him to be up there. And then when the ball gets played up, like you see a lot of times when we break on teams, it's fast and it's quick plays. But with the two pacey wingers, what Liverpool should be looking at, if Sturridge is fit, is getting Sturridge to maybe sit back and wait for the first ball, getting him to be that first player that Firmino holds up play, passes it to Sturridge. Sturridge finds Salah or Mane on the wings. With their paces, they get in behind, and then Sturridge is pushing up with Firmino, and then you've got Firmino and Sturridge running into the box late for that cutback. Teams are going to be scared of Salah and Mane because they're capable of scoring goals when they get in behind the team. So they're going to want to be running as fast as they can to get back to stop them, which then opens up that space in front of the back four for Sturridge and Firmino. And if you had Sturridge and Firmino coming in, they're both quality finishers coming into that box and arriving late. And then you've got like your Wijnaldum's or whatever if he's on. That's scary, guys. And I think that would be something that I'd really like to see happen. Like, and again, it all depends on whether teams sit back against us. But that was what I was saying at the beginning. Getting bigger players so teams can't rely on set pieces against us. And then I think you'll see more teams not sitting back against us. They will have to come out and try and play football. And then, as you well know, if a team tries to play football against us, we annihilate them. So that's where I'd like to see us go this season. And hopefully a few signings come in this transfer window that can really help us with that. He's lost some pace, maybe, but with one full run of fitness and he would get more confidence. Yeah, 100%. I think we do need Sturridge to get a run. We need him to keep the injuries at bay, and if that happens, I think he would be more confident that he won't get injured every little knock that he takes. So, yeah, I agree. He definitely needs a run in the team. Whether Klopp will give him a run in the team, because I think Klopp's also a bit scared and weary that he doesn't want to lose Sturridge, all the time to injuries, because I think Sturridge would be a key figure for us in games in like the Champions League. Like you could see that when we was in the Europa League, Klopp did favour having Sturridge up front. So I think it's a bit of both really. I think Klopp's got to get confidence over Sturridge as well with his fitness. Aubameyang would have made us very strong title contenders. Yeah, I was gutted when I saw us linked with him. Part of me was like, that's never going to happen, and another part was like, please happen, just happen. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you put even I don't know whether any of you guys play FIFA or whatever. I like to dabble on FIFA, and I love Ultimate Team, and Aubameyang is one of them players that I always play on the team because of his pace and that. And I think this year, if we would have had Aubameyang, I would have been able to build a Liverpool team with Salah, Mane, and Aubameyang, let alone even for the actual Liverpool team. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just would be amazing, wouldn't it? Like, Aubameyang staying this year, but he does still want to go. It did come out that he did want to leave, but apparently none of the top clubs coming for him. So I don't know what that one was about. Maybe Aubameyang behind the scenes is a bit of an arsehole. I'm not too sure, but I think personally, if Klopp and Aubameyang could put it aside, he would be the striker that I'd go for. I was wanting Lacazette if we didn't get Aubameyang, but obviously he's gone to Arsenal, and I think he'd do well for us. I think Arsenal was obviously lacking a striker, so on that one, I think they did good to get him. But yeah, mate, seriously, I'm gutted that we didn't get Aubameyang. But we got. I don't think we're in for a striker. I think Solanke. If we could get Solanke a run of games, I really do think, guys, that he could be a good player for us, and I want to see him get a run. I think without it stands that we haven't got 100% got a striker. Why not give him a run of games? I think we need to see that. Do you know what I mean? He did really good in the World Cup and got like player of the tournament. So I don't know. Like, I think we need to give him a run as well, and maybe play Firmino, like we said, like off of him. Where are we? I'm so frustrated looking back that we could have got Sanchez, but he went to Arsenal. We could have bought Dele Alli for $1 million, but we thought it was too much. Imagine we had got them. Yeah. Oh, mate. Over the years, seriously, like just looking back at everyone, we could have had David Silva years ago. Like, obviously, he went to Man City, but Rafa Benitez wanted to sign David Silva. Rafa Benitez also wanted Juan Mata. Like, the players that we've been linked with over the years that were close to signing for Liverpool and we never got them, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like you say, same. We were linked with Christian Eriksen. What a player. We were linked with Sigurdsson. Now, I know he played for Swansea, but he's going to Everton now, and I highly rate the fella. I think he's a good player. Like, he kept Swansea in the league like on his own, basically, and I would have liked to have seen us put a bid in for him again, but Liverpool too many times have lost out on signings that would have made us title contenders, in my opinion. And I don't know what it is, guys. I think Liverpool really need to buck their ideas up in the transfer window. I think, on a serious note, we need to sort it out. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is really frustrating. I really do feel your pain. Obviously, being a Liverpool supporter, every year, like, there's that same old joke, innit? If you look on the media, like, everyone's like, oh yeah, same old Liverpool fans. It's our year, like, we do well. And then we think, oh, in this transfer window, we're going to sign this player, we're going to sign that player, and it never comes off, and we sign like a player that is shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, or someone that is good, but is not well class. So, like I said, I'm frustrated as well, guys. I want to see an improvement. I know you lot do as well. So, what else have we got? Oh, just quickly going back to that, you said we could have got Sanchez. Yeah, and what do you guys think? Why? I think we should be going in for Sanchez in this window. He's not happy at Arsenal. Why do you not go in and just go, look, we'll give you £200,000 a week to come and play for Liverpool? Like, it's worth a shot. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't want to play for Arsenal. Man City are linked with him. Like, if Man City sign Sanchez, that's going to pee me off even more, because if a player goes to another Premier League team, then we could go in for them as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know why Liverpool aren't linked with him. To be honest with you, if we lose Coutinho, we've got the money to go in. Even if we went to Arsenal, mate, we will give you 70, 80 million for Sanchez now. It'd be quality, and I'd play Sanchez straight in. Imagine Sanchez, Mane, Salah, and like your Firmino and other players like in the team. I thought that would be deadly, guys. Like that, seriously, that would be so deadly. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would love to see that come off. And what do you guys think on that? Do you think we should be going in there, or do you think it's just one of them that would never happen? Obviously, Liverpool turned down a bid from Arsenal years ago, but for Suarez, but that was like a ridiculous bid. Whereas if Sanchez does want to leave and his contract's running down, and Liverpool went in with a high fee, I think Arsenal would literally rip our arm off at the moment, even if they wouldn't want to let him go to us. Do you know what I mean? I think they'd be stupid to turn it down. I think Lallana is massively underrated. Our midfield lost any attacking threat without him and Coutinho. Yep, 100%. I'm gutted that he's out. I think, obviously, not having Coutinho and Lallana, we really show that them two are like two of our main players and two of the reasons why our attack is so fluid. People were still saying that our attack is really good, but it's not as good as it, guys. And I think Lallana as well, he is so underrated with not just the attacking side of the game, but defensively. Like, Lallana gets stuck in, doesn't he? Like, he's such a tank. Like, the way he gets up and down that pitch, I really think that we are going to miss him over the next few months, and especially if we haven't brought in another player that can do what Lallana does. And to be honest with you, I don't really think there is many players that can do what Lallana does. I think Keita was one of them players that can do what Lallana does. I think he's the closest that we've been linked with, but I don't really know. Like, I'm gutted that he's out, guys. He's a massive blow for us. And now with the Coutinho thing, obviously that's two major players. We lost Lucas. Do you know what I mean? Like, and Lucas wasn't world class, but Lucas did a job. So, in my opinion, we are looking a lot weaker this year at the moment, and it's really bloody annoying, isn't it? I love Firmino. He is creative, strong, clever, and a bit like Coutinho, but he can't finish because he's not a striker. Yeah, that's my views on it. Coutinho is really good at scoring when he's got the space, but I think Klopp, to begin with, Firmino was scoring a lot of goals and was getting in the positions, but now I feel like he's not getting in the positions, and I'm thinking that's to do with Klopp's tactics. I think Klopp uses Firmino to open up play for Mane and Salah, and I don't know whether that's ruining Firmino a bit or whether that's Firmino's happy to do that. I don't know whether we see a change, but in the first couple of games that I've seen this season, Firmino is looking not as much in the game as what he did last year, and I don't know whether maybe this whole Coutinho thing is like frustrating Firmino as well. Maybe it's got to him and we're not seeing the best of him at the moment because of all that as well. Obviously, they're best mates, their families are friends. So I don't really know on that one. But yeah, I highly rate it, lad. I hope we see the best of him again. And I would really like to see him play off of another striker. Score prediction. I think it'll be 2-1, mate, to be honest. Like I said earlier, I think we've got enough to beat them. It's first game at Anfield. We've got a new pitch. It's the first time we're playing on it. I think Liverpool should be playing a lot better on this pitch against the first two teams that we played over the last couple of games. The teams didn't water their pitches and stuff to try and stop us because they know that that really affects Liverpool if the pitch is not in good condition. Whereas our free-flowing play on Anfield's new pitch should be amazing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I've got Mane to score both goals because I think he's been our best player so far. And I think Crystal Palace are going to be scared of Salah on the other wing because Salah's been doing really well so far. So I think they're going to maybe target defending him a bit more. I'm not too sure. I'd like to see Mane maybe going up top. Something that I stated in one of my videos before is that what I would quite like to have seen if Coutinho was staying was Coutinho on the left, Mane up top and Salah on the right. I think that would be really dangerous. I think Mane can score with both feet and I think he's absolutely deadly. Like, he can get him behind and he's just class acting, he really, guys. And I think Mane will get the 2 goals because I just don't think there's anyone that can stop him at the moment, guys, to be honest. We saw that when he was at Southampton. We struggled a hell of a lot against him. And I think he's only going to have a better season to come this year. I think he's going to be scoring 20-plus goals. I've said that before. So, yeah, I'm going to go with 2-1, mate. And I'm going to say Mane at both goals, Benteke to score one of theirs. Or I think our weakness is going to be on a set piece, isn't it? So I think it'll either be Benteke or it'll be like a defender or whatever for them. Like a big lad that's going to get his head on it or something like that. Hopefully it can be 2-0, mate. I want to see a 2-0 win or at least 2-0. But I really can't see our defence holding them out. At the moment, they're good at set pieces and we're shit, aren't we? So what's your prediction on it, mate? I'd love to know what you think. I play FIFA. Look at the name. Yeah. Let me know, mate. You PlayStation or Xbox? I'm PlayStation. let me know what you're making of FIFA 18 coming out as well. I can't wait for that to come out. Obviously, it's going to be quality, obviously, and because I love Ultimate Team as well, like I can't wait to play with some of the new players on the game and their updated stats and everything. And I want to build a Liverpool team this year on Ultimate Team. Like I can't wait to play with the new lads. And this is another reason I love Liverpool Football Club and I love watching them, but I do love playing FIFA as well. It's like a cheeky little hobby of mine. So let me know like whether you're looking forward to FIFA 18 and what your favourite players are for 18 and who you're looking forward to playing with, and tell me if you play Ultimate Team as well, mate. That'd be quality. Maybe we could have a link up in a game one day. Sigurdsson is the most underrated player. To get the third most assists and score loads of goals for Swansea is amazing. Exactly my point, mate. I think Everton are looking strong. I think they've done really well in this transfer window, and bringing him in is only going to make him even better in it, really. I wouldn't say they're quite up to Liverpool's standard at the moment, but they have got me looking over my shoulder, and I think the derby games are going to be a lot closer this year to what they have been over the last couple of seasons. So I'm looking forward to them again. It's about time the derby games were back to how they used to be. Of course, I still want to smash Everton off the park, but them having a better team only makes it more entertaining and fun for us, and it's even better when we beat them in it, really. So, but I've got loads of respect for Everton, obviously being our fellow neighbours, and I know a lot of Everton supporters, and when I've gone up to Liverpool and stuff, it's like one big family. Even the Everton supporters were really good to us, and when we was like wearing our Liverpool kits and stuff up there and everything. So yeah, I want to see them do well as well this year, and that's massive, mate. I think Sigurdsson's going to do really well for them. I'm gutted that we wasn't linked with him. I'm gutted really that we did get him years ago, because when we were first linked with him, he obviously come in and he's done a job, isn't he, really, in the Premier League. And maybe someone that since we lost Gerrard, he could have filled that void, not so much as a captain, but we did miss some over the years. I think we need a set-piece specialist, and he's good at free kicks. And Coutinho obviously has scored some free kicks for us. Trent now looks like he can bang one in, but I think we could have done with having someone like Sigurdsson. I think that's why they've got him in. He's an all-rounder, and he's a big player. All the teams in the Premier League that are going to do well this year, mark my words, they've got strong, big players. It's not about the small players anymore. Even Man City, they went from having players like Silva and Aguero and that, but you look at some of the big lads that they brought in, and that's even getting Kyle Walker for right back in there. They're a force to be reckoned with, guys, and I think that's the way the Premier League works. I think managers are cottoning on to that now, that to beat the lower teams, like how Liverpool beat all the top teams when we play them because they come out and play, but to beat them lower teams, it's because they're aggressive and they're strong, and we need players that can handle that and can play the same way, and that will force teams to come out and play against us instead of sitting back deep. And yeah, I think that's the way forward in the Premier League, and I'm pissed off that we're not really changing that at the moment and being linked with small players like constantly. But yeah, like I said before, let me know what you guys think on that. Anyway, let's have a look. Sanchez and Diego Costa are worth a shot. Very unlikely, but there's no harm in putting in a bid. Yep, 100%. Costa obviously wants to go to Atletico, and he stated that he doesn't want to sign for anyone else. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen him come to us. I think he's the bully in the box that we could have done with. I do think that it's foolish to really say that Solanke is the next Diego Costa, like some people have been saying, but I think he's very similar to Costa. But yeah, would I have liked to see Costa come to us? Of course. We were linked with him years ago, and again, another player that we were linked with that we missed out on, and he was one of the best strikers in the league. I don't know what's really gone on at Chelsea with that one. I think he's had a fallout with the manager, and yeah, I think it's a big loss for them. Obviously, their first game in the season they lost, but they've done well, boys. I think getting Morata in, seriously, I think he's going to be top scorer this year. I would have liked to have seen him come to Liverpool. We've been linked with him in the past, and I would have took him back then, but I just watched him in the first game, and I think he was quality for them. So, and there's a lot more to come from him. So yeah, I would have definitely put in a cheeky bid. And for Sanchez, like you say, said it earlier, why are we not going in for players like this? If players are unsettled, or this is something that Liverpool have lacked recently that's really annoyed me, is that I think, looking at it, why did Liverpool not poach the top team's players so often? You look, Man City took Raheem Sterling off us. Arsenal wanted to take Suarez off us years. Man City take the other team's top players. Man United take the other team's top players. Liverpool take the top players from the smaller teams in the league. Why are we not going in for the best players in our league? Because you know they can already do a job in the league. They're up there. They're the top players in the league. So fucking go in and pay the money and get them players in, because that's what we need to do. That's what we used to do years and years ago when Liverpool was a successful club. It's because we used to buy the top players. We don't do that anymore. It's about time things change on that, isn't it, really, in my opinion? Siri can do similar to Lallana at least. Yeah, hopefully, mate. That's looking like that's gaining momentum, that one. I really think that, obviously, Liverpool, if we get Siri, then Keita's definitely not going to happen by the end of the window. On the Keita deal, I said in one of my earlier videos that it was almost like their chairman opened the door for Liverpool to maybe come back in with another bid, like a third bid. He said that we had 2 bids from Liverpool and that they was evaluating whether it was worth keeping him or whether it was worth selling him. So to me, that was like he was kind of opening the door again on the Keita one, but not too sure on that one. But yeah, if we got Siri, if that's how you say his name, sorry guys, if that's not how you say his name, I don't really know. I haven't heard anyone say his name, but I think he's a quality player and he's got an eye for a killer pass as well, which is something that we're lacking, especially with Coutinho not in the squad. And Lallana's also one of them players that seems to open up teams for us. So yeah, I think he would be good. But if we're going to get him, I'd like to see him come in now so that we know where we stand on the midfield acquisitions, if you know what I mean. Coutinho handed in a transfer request too late. If he handed it in earlier, we could have got a replacement. Put in a transfer request 24 hours before a game. Also, I think Coutinho is fit but not play. Is that playing? I think you're saying. Yeah, I agree, mate. I think if we would have known at the beginning of the trip, we don't know whether Liverpool knew. Maybe the Salah deal coming in. It's been touted that maybe that was because Liverpool knew that Coutinho wanted to leave. I don't know about that one. It's possible, but I think with him putting in a formal transfer request, that's definitely too late. Whether he let us know that he wanted to go on whatever, or we knew there was interest, doesn't matter. But now saying he's going on strike and that, it's a bit of a bell end move, isn't it, really, mate? Like, I think, yeah, it is very late in the window. And even though people are saying that there's a lot is going to go on in these last few weeks, or last couple of weeks, but I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons why Liverpool's not selling him at the moment, and why we're not seeing any more come out from Liverpool, is because they're trying to find that replacement for him. And I think as soon as Liverpool comes out and say that Coutinho's going, I think you can guarantee that Liverpool have got another player that's about to sign for us, because I don't think they'd let Coutinho go unless they've got a player that will come in. And to be honest, I said that we're linked with Insigne, but I don't think that if there's going to be a replacement, I don't think it's going to be a like-for-like left winger swap. I think it's going to be more of a midfield player, because, as we said, Coutinho was going to play more of a midfield role this year, not the left wing position. So I think that's where my views are on that one, guys. PlayStation, mate. I have an attack of end era Kite and Gerrard with Premier SBC Torres. Heaven. Well up for a match. Wicked, mate. I'm on PlayStation as well, so we'll definitely make that happen. That'd be sweet. I've got the end of an era Gerrard as well in my team. Absolutely love it. My team's very strong, but I'll go into that. We maybe message up, we'll link up or whatever, and we'll talk about that and see who's got who and whose team, and we'll definitely have a game, mate. That'd be wicked. I'm well up for that. Gonna go for Salah, Mane, Firmino straight away. Yeah, I think that's the same as me, mate. That's my goals, getting in players like that as soon as I can. I normally do really well. I normally get top players in and that, but I always like to get some of the Liverpool players in the team and integrated into the team, because it's where my heart lies in it. And of course, you like to play with the players on the PlayStation or on the Xbox or whatever, on FIFA basically, that you watch week in, week out. Like, it's really good, especially if their stats are good. I feel like every year Liverpool's player stats are not what they should be. I don't know whether you agree on that, but like Mane, for instance, like I've got his team of the year card. Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant, but his stats should have been more close to that halfway through the year, not at the end of the year. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous how low our ratings of our players are on that team, like on FIFA and that. Like, they need to sort that out, in my opinion. I think we're not that bad of a team, are we? Really? Like, more like set re close enough though. Right, okay. Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Obviously, I don't really watch a French league, so I haven't heard any commentators say his name or whatever. But I say it like Siri, so it's like what you get on your phones, isn't it, or whatever. Like maybe I'll ask him like what the time in France is or something when he plays for us. You know what I mean? Like, hi Siri, like what's the time in France at the moment? I don't know. I'm just chatting shit now, guys. Right, so I've got some things that I laid out quickly here that I'll go back to as well. Klopp had stated in his press conference that there will be changes to the team against Crystal Palace. Obviously due to fatigue and things like that, and some niggles in some of the players. So I do think that we're going to see a different lineup. I don't know at the moment, guys, who I think will start. Obviously, I think in goal, I think you're going to see Mignolet again. Right back, I think you've got to play Trent. I think he's young enough to still be fit enough to play in that game. I don't know where Coutinho is at the moment on his fitness levels and whether maybe he'd be put in. I would like to see him come back in, but Trent back there would be fine. Matip and Lovren will probably start, but if Lovren or Matip is Klopp doesn't want to risk them, then you might see Gomez coming into one of them centre back pairings. Left back probably going to be Moreno again. Our new left back, Klopp said he's out at the moment. He didn't say whether that was injuries or not. I think maybe he's just bedding in. It's like the bedding in period. So I think you're either going to see Moreno or maybe Milner going back in there. Midfield, I think Henson's going to be dropped for this game. I think with his on and off injuries and fitness and stuff, I think we see him sit out at least the beginning of this game. So I reckon that midfield is going to be Emre Can, Wijnaldum, and I'd like to see Firmino in that midfield as well, but I don't know whether he will. I think Grujic might come into it on this one. I think I've said before, I think Klopp really rates Grujic and he's trying to integrate him into the first team. Yeah, playing against a team like Crystal Palace, we need some bigger players in there. So I think having Emre Can and Grujic in midfield makes us a bit stronger on set pieces. So that makes sense to me if Henson sits out. Obviously, I think you're going to have Salah and Mane on the wings. If Klopp doesn't want to risk both of them or whatever in this one, then I think you'll see Kent come in at the start of the game and maybe Salah will come in towards the end of the game. Maybe that will happen. I'm not too sure. I'd like to know what you guys think on that. It all depends on their fitnesses and that. And up top, I'd like to see Solanke start up top with obviously Firmino playing behind him in midfield. But I reckon it's probably going to be Firmino. We all know Klopp's stubborn and likes to play Firmino up top. So that's my prediction on the starting 11 and also what I'd like to see on my starting 11. Klopp was asked today about transfers. He was asked whether there's any updates on everything, and he played it quite cool on it. Said there was no real updates or whatever, but has said that basically he doesn't really know at the moment. He said it's got nothing really to do with him. How much I believe that, I don't know. What do you guys think on that? I think I don't know whether Klopp is more aware than what he is on things, or whether Klopp has stated before that he likes to have someone that sorts out all the transfers and that, and Klopp likes to get on with the team and training and things like that, but Klopp definitely has the final say on it. So I don't know whether he's waiting on his scouts to come back and say this is the replacement, this is second choice, but we think you should go for him, and then Klopp makes a decision. I don't know on that one, guys, but he hasn't really updated us on that too much. Obviously, the game's 3 p.m. On Saturday against Crystal Palace. Apparently, it's not being televised, but you guys are probably aware, same as me. If you really want to, you can find streams online everywhere. I'm not saying I condone that, but I do that, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, hopefully we can get a good stream, or you can get a good stream to watch that game. There's always plenty of ways to watch games like that if it's not on TV. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've written down for what I wanted to talk about on this live stream, guys. So let me go back to the comments quickly. I agree, he deserves a better weak foot as well. Mane should be like 85, 100%. Yeah, that's one thing that I think about his team of the year player. Love playing with him, but he cannot shoot on that left foot. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like the amount of times I've been through on goal and you need him to finish on his left foot, it just doesn't happen. So yeah, I think he should have 5-star rating left foot on that one. Which makes me laugh because Salah's got a better rating weak foot on the game, but Salah's more one-footed than Mane. But yeah, I don't get that. And I agree with the 85 rating as well to start. I think that's a good point. think we should have gone stronger for Goretzka. We were apparently interested, but nothing came of it. Yep, massive player. I think he's got a really good future ahead of him. Big player as well. Like I said, we need to get more players in like that. Really, in my opinion, we need to sign either Draxler or Goretzka to strengthen the midfield. I'd love to see either one of them two come in. I'm glad you brought up the Goretzka thing. Yes, we was linked with him, and yeah, that kind of went away really quick. I don't know why. Maybe that says to me that there wasn't any truth in it. Obviously, because of the Klopp link and things like that. Maybe I'm not too sure on that one, but yeah, I definitely think we should have gone in for him. How it is and Draxler available? Go sign them, Klopp. Yep, 100%. We need to. Like I just said, Draxler. We should be going balls deep to get Draxler at the moment. We really need to get him if he is apparently available. So get that fucking done. Like, just jump in there before anyone else does. And if other teams are going in and they're trying to find out the price, don't go in there with a price that you think they might accept. Go in there and just go, we've got money, we want Draxler, how much do you want for him? Oh, 60 million, done, he's coming. Do you know what I mean? That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do in the transfer market. We don't do that and we need to. I don't like that people are doubting Salah after he missed a few chances. Lukaku and Morata missed open goals in pre-season and they're still considered clinical. Salah will be sick for us. 100%, mate. Yeah, it's bedding in, isn't it? It's bedding in period for Salah. Obviously, nerves are going to be there. I think against Watford, you could see that he was nervous, but as the game went on, he was settling and he looked like a real threat. I was really impressed with him in pre-season. I don't know why people wasn't that impressed with him because I felt like he's going to be. I think between him and Mane, there's 40 goals there for this season. To be honest, guys, I think Salah is going to be a massive player for us, and I think he is clinical. And we've seen that at Roma and stuff. He's just got to settle, and he's just got to get used to the way we play and get the nerves of coming and joining Liverpool. And obviously, he was looked at as a flop from before at Chelsea, but he didn't get given a chance, so he's got that pressure on him. But I think if he just relaxes, starts scoring the goals, we'll see Salah at his best, and I think we've got the best years to come of him. And I think, yeah, he's going to be a major key player for us, and I can't wait to see him play this year, guys. I was really happy with that signing. Is there anything else? No. So yeah, so I think I'm going to round it up here, guys. Thank you for tuning in and watching the live stream. Obviously, it's only my second live stream. My first one wasn't good at all because I was trying to sort out the settings and get used to it. So I'm really grateful, guys, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to be doing daily videos as always, and I'll be doing a lot more of these live streams. And yeah, I just love getting your guys' views, and I like these live streams. I prefer doing these live streams to what I do, just doing the videos where I edit them, because I get to talk like this with you guys as well, and it's a longer video. So I'm really happy that you guys have tuned in and given me some of your views as well. That's what I do this channel for, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you in the future and talking to you more about things. I'll be releasing a video tomorrow, so make sure to come back in on that one. And I think on Saturday I'll do a match reaction live. I'll be doing the same as this for you guys, and I'd love to see what you guys want to think of it as well. So yeah, I think that'll be my next stream, guys. I'll do that. It'll be live as soon as the game finishes, probably half an hour afterwards. I'll get set up, get you guys on board, and hopefully we're talking about how good we won and how good we played, and not that we played shit again. That would be nice, wouldn't it, eh? But yeah, lovely to meet you guys. And FIFA content, we need to link up and get that game going on PlayStation at some point. That'd be wicked, mate. Nice to meet you, and nice to meet you other guys as well. Shamesh, really thank you for commenting on the video. Really appreciate it, mate. It's been absolutely amazing. And let me just read this finally. Good stream, mate. See ya. Sub, maybe sub back. I will sub back, mate. I'll sub back to anyone that subs to me if you ask me to. Much appreciated, mate. So take care, guys. And yeah, I'll speak to you in the future. And yeah, I'm out, guys.